Tom Brady and the Las Vegas Raiders have decided on who the next offensive coordinator is going to be, hiring former Ohio State OC Chip Kelly and obviously a former NFL head coach, but now coming to Las Vegas to work under Pete Carroll. Now, with bringing in a guy like Pete Carroll, but also retaining a guy like Patrick Graham, I can only expect this defense to take massive leaps and bounds in the right direction this season. But the one major issue with this Las Vegas Raiders team over the last decade, it feels like, has always been this offense. How are they going to get a system and, more importantly, get a quarterback that helps them win football games now? Now, Chip Kelly, coming over here from, again, winning a national championship in college, has ran a lot of different schemes, but most notably, his ability to develop a quarterback and establish a running game. The most important thing for an offense is establishing the run and building off that, but more importantly, developing a quarterback. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why that trait alone, along with all the other pros and some cons of why I love Chip Kelly. But with that being said, let's talk about it, man. He also has a very innovative RPO, up-tempo type of offense that he pioneered way back in the day at Oregon, and now in the NFL can definitely utilize a hurry-up offense to speed up the game and keep defenses on their tippy toes. And in this video, what we're going to do is break down exactly what we love about Chip Kelly as a new OC, but more importantly, the pros, the cons, the good, the bad. We're going to talk all about it. Before we break down the pros and the cons, comment down below a letter grade for this hiring, and do you think this is a good addition or potentially even a bad one? Now, Chip Kelly at Ohio State last year was extremely good getting his playmakers the football. When you talk about a freshman in Jeremiah Smith, a couple of really good running backs in Quinshawn Junkins, Travion Henderson, and Emeka Ibuka, right? So many different talented guys on this team. They were able to get them involved. Look at this one. We're going to fake play action, have the running back pick up on the man side, and then we're going to get a quick one-on-one situation to the right. We could tell this safety is going to kind of turn his back to the inside here, and once he does that, we're taking this yes-no read all day, and made this quarterback and Will Howard look really good this year for the most part, and again, led them offensively to a great year in a championship game. And here's another play I absolutely loved. So we're going to get a little bit of pre-snap motion this way. He loves to use eye candy to get one of or two of these second level defenders in the wrong direction. So we're going to get number 2 here on the defensive side of the ball to overcommit to the right. And then we're going to pull the tackle, and we're going to pull the guard over here as we hand the football up the A gap, up the B gap for the running back here. And what we're going to see is just a well executed play. We get a great job by the guard, right? All these guys from the defense are rotating this way because they see the pre-snap motion here. Don't expect that. And now we got guys getting down the field, blocking for their players. And again, just a really good scheme here by Chip Kelly in this offense. I mean, listen, it is one thing to say he's been hyper successive in college, but in the NFL, his offenses haven't been as good as maybe you'd hope, which I think, obviously, we could talk all day long about, you know, him being a head coach compared to an OC. Maybe now that he just gets to be an offensive coordinator, it might give him a little bit more room to just focus on the offense, which should be a strong suit. Now, one thing I do like about Chip Kelly is the experience that he has. Got a really extensive track record in, like I said, both college football at Oregon, UCLA, and also, most notably, Ohio State, coming off the championship win, and obviously has been in the NFL as head coach for the Eagles. Also was at the 49ers for a year as well. So I feel like he's got a lot of knowledge. He knows what he needs to do. He's been here before. It's not his first rodeo, and I think it could really help him, you know, develop his schemes across these different levels of play that he's already been through. Now, before we get any further, before I talk a little bit about the player development aspect of it, the control of the game that he brings, and then some of the cons, do me a big time favor, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If we get over 250 likes, I think I want to break down some film from this past year at Ohio State. That's just show you kind of his concept, his scheme, and what he likes to do as an offensive play caller. But again, make sure you guys join the family for that part 2. It's free, doesn't cost anything, and we're going to be here all year long, so make sure you guys join the family. With that being said, let's kind of dive back into the video a little bit and talk just a little bit more about who he is as a coach. And we talked about it a little while ago. It's the player development for me. It's his ability to get quarterbacks heading in the right direction. Throughout his collegiate career as a coach, I feel like he's been able to do that, put guys in the right situations, and really control the tempo of a game. But, you know, what I'm very, very curious in is I feel like when you look at a guy like Cliff Kingsbury and what he did in college, to what Chip Kelly has done in college, Tom Brady is going for one thing and one thing only. That is the ability to develop a guy, develop a quarterback, get someone trending in the right direction, hitting their peak, right, hitting their top potential. And I think Chip Kelly probably has the best opportunity to do that out of any other of the candidates out right now. Like, obviously Ben Johnson would have been a great hire, don't get me wrong, but from the candidates that were out there, this guy is the only one that has had success in the past with quarterbacks, but also has had success with establishing a running game and building off that. Now, if we want to go into some of his cons, I guess you could say, I think the first thing that we have to talk about, no matter what, is his adaptation to the NFL, or adaptation to the NFL. He's not been great. Let's just be quite honest, right? That is probably the biggest scare to me, is the fact that he doesn't have the track record of being a great NFL head coach. He struggled his first year at the Eagles, showed a little bit of promise throughout year 1, and then from there started to kind of go downhill. He had a little bit of success in San Francisco, but ultimately did not pan out the way he wanted to. But again, the college to the NFL, it's very, very different. So if he can kind of figure out what he needs to change in the NFL, it could end up being a really good hire. And at the end of the day, I think having a guy like Pete Carroll, but Patrick Graham defensively is really going to help out the defense, but they needed someone that had a good offensive mind. And, you know, at the end of the day, I like the hire, but I am very cautious. I think there could be issues. I think he's very player specific. Like, he needs certain players in his system, guys who have really good ability to stay well rested, but keep that up tempo pace, don't get tired too easily. He's gonna need those type of guys. He's had some issues with the passing attack, getting that going at a consistent level. And then obviously for defenses, if you're working so fast, if you're trying to go non-stop, no huddle, then obviously your defenses are probably going to be on the field a little bit longer than you'd like as well. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, again, this was just a quick kind of breakdown, initial reaction. If you guys want a part 2, we're actually going and break down some of the film he had and play calling he had at Ohio State. I can do that as well. Just let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe, give me a letter grade of this hire. Let me know where the Raiders need to go from here in free agency to really position themselves to win games this year. I think they definitely need a quarterback. Russell Wilson probably the best option, maybe Geno Smith, but Russell, they can get Russell or Justin Fields. I think it could be huge for a Chip Kelly offense.